one dies of cancer and the other assisted suicides himself. That would have been the entire. It would not have changed one iota of the show. It is completely irrelevant to the.
Can you imagine watching an entire show that has the gays but no zombies? Or watching a show with zombies and gays? You know, I just don't like the gays. Just keep them out of my television and my movies. It's just the left-wing propaganda that other people that I don't like exist, and I just want to keep it out of my line of sight. Can we just ban these people entirely?
The story. And one of the reasons that it is completely irrelevant to the story is because there are no stakes. And the reason that there are no stakes is because, again, we are in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. When you're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, one of two issues has to come into play. One, the threat of the zombies. Or two, the threat to humanity more broadly.
Oh, you mean like the Raiders, the one you're showing the clip right now of the Raiders. I don't know why I didn't watch this in fucking full mode. The whole time I've just been, Jesus Christ. I don't care, I'm just listening to this argument anyway. So there, like I said, there's multiple zombies, and there's also Raiders. There's threats. There are terrible groups of people out there. And this is kind of set like another exposition way of showing you something's out there without just saying it. The first episode, they said it. It was a brief, like, in passing, like, Joel, you don't want to go out in the countryside because, you know, the bad people are out there. There's murderers and rapists and murderers. And you're literally showing a clip of Raiders, of a threat, while complaining that there was no threats.
So, if you're talking about the threat to humanity more broadly during the zombie apocalypse, what you're talking about is underpopulation, right? You're talking about there are no people. The zombies are going to take over. Humanity is going to be extinct. That is the entire threat in a zombie apocalypse. Correct?
No. Do you... Oh my fucking God, Ben. Are you fucking serious right now? Did you not watch the show? The military killed excess people because of overpopulation. You don't want to populate more. That was the whole fucking point of the whole fucking... Oh my God. Holy shit. It's like, well, in my movie or show, the zombie apocalypse, you would want to populate people so you'd have more people. But that's not what's going on here. That is not what's going on here. It's about these individual characters living and surviving in this world and growing relationships and becoming like the people that they become. You know, Joel getting hardened after the death of his daughter, but softening up to his new surrogate daughter. And Bill being this like isolated, prepper, kind of emotionally detached guy who opens up to somebody. It's a love story. Yes, it's a love story in a zombie apocalypse. But because the love story is between two guys, that's the problem Ben is really upset about.
Or in an alien invasion movie. Or in any other sort of...
We're not talking about other movies, Ben. We're not talking about your hypothetical different thing. We're talking about this. And no, the population control is part of the plot even. It's even mentioned in this episode. Not even a different episode. In this episode, they mention it. Did you not watch this fucking show at all? I bet you just watched the clips with the gay parts. I wonder why.
Species level extinction event movie like War of the
Worlds. I hate the gays.
The question is, how do human beings repopulate? How do they survive? And how do they become successful once again?
Oh God, these gays!
If you're going to censor an episode like that, what you need to do is you need to have an episode about people who can have babies. And you can say a lot of things about same-sex relationships, but it is very difficult to claim they have the same societal value as traditional male-female dyads producing children.
But marriage isn't exclusive to male-female dyads producing children, is it? Marriages are not dissolved if they fail to produce children. Marriage is not forbidden to anyone on the grounds of being postmenopausal or otherwise infertile. The ability to procreate is not, and has never been, a necessary condition for marriage. Certainly not in the United States. But even if the purpose of marriage were procreation, what harm is being done by granting the same recognition to infertile pairings?
Which is what the institution of marriage is predicated upon.
If that were the case, why would anyone postmenopausal bother to get married, or be allowed to get married? In fact, once the children are grown, what is the point of staying married if a necessary condition for the institution is the rearing of children?
The institution of marriage is just an enshrinement of the simple biological fact that men and women combine to create children and then raise those children. That is all that marriage is.
If that's all that marriage is, then would you advise infertile people not to bother? Would you go so far as to advise infertile people against getting married?
You can pretend that other forms of relationship are equivalent. You can pretend that other forms of relationship have similar societal value. They do not.
Why not? And even if they don't, why would they have to be deserving of marriage? Couples who can't have their own kids can still adopt and raise kids. Does that fact not grant such couples enough societal value to make them worthy of marriage? Sometimes same-sex couples end up raising kids produced from previous opposite-sex relationships. Would you prefer that those same-sex couples remain unmarried while they raise those kids? And even if we take kids out of the equation, do you think there is no societal value to people committing to one another and pooling their resources?
So a lot of people say, well, no, hold up just a minute. But the case that the left made on this was that marriage really isn't about the production of children.
Well, given that infertile people have never been forbidden to marry in America, it clearly has never been only about the production of children. And how could it be, given that you don't even need to be married to produce children?
It's really not about creating family units.
A married couple is a family unit, regardless of whether they have children.
Marriage is just about who you love. And once they had redefined that, and they'd actually done this well in advance of same-sex marriage. They'd done this with regard to, for example, no-fault divorce. The idea being that there wasn't anything sacred about marriage. There wasn't anything unifying or creative of a family unit about marriage. It was just about who you loved. So if you didn't love somebody, then divorce was totally on the table. So no-fault divorce is fine.
I guess Ben believes that no-fault divorces are not fine, but miserable, loveless marriages that people are not allowed to dissolve unless they become outright abusive are A-okay.
Again, there are only two issues in a zombie apocalypse. You could have this whole thing, but the whole thing is these two dudes in love, but they're fighting off zombies. But they never fight off the zombies. It's not an issue. So, irrelevant. Or you could have them somehow interact with the main characters. They never do.
Well, this really is just, it's amazing.
Right? Can you not, please?
I'm the same way.
Oh, you're a paranoid schizophrenic too?
I'm not schizophrenic.
Well, can I just say, gun aside, which I get, by the way, how nice this is to have a civilized meal in such a beautiful place. It's been so long. I mean it, I want to thank you, even if we don't end up working together. I really needed this.
We are working together. We are.
The fuck is it with you, you weird sack of shit? Are you... Again, it doesn't have to do with population because, again, they want to keep the population small so that way it doesn't spread the virus. They want to basically hold out the virus, I keep calling it virus, until the infection goes away. Right? That's the point. That is it. No point in this movie is anybody trying to, populate more. That's not a thing. No, they're not trying to have kids. No, that's not. What? What are you talking about?
They interact with the main characters.
Ben doesn't pay attention to the things that he's witnessing. If he watched this show, these wouldn't be the things any normal fucking person would say.
Seconds, they are both dead by the time the main characters arrive to pick up guns. So this entire episode is
not to pick up guns. To pick up a fucking truck, Ben! They actually left a lot of the guns. That's for a reason. Watch the fucking show.
We had supplies en route. We found ourselves short on gear.
What are you doing?
There's not much ammo out there for this thing. Makes it mostly useless.
Dude,
No.
there's a wall of them.
stopped by, found the house, picked up guns, and gone on the...
Just having all the guns wasn't the fucking point, Ben. That's not...
merry way, and it would have taken 10 seconds. Instead, you get an entire hour-long digression to do...
Well, if they actually were doing a thing that they never did in the show and wasn't their fucking goal, then they could do that thing instead. But that was never the thing they were fucking doing.
La Caja Falls, or whatever this is.
Holy shit.
Okay, so, it's...
I know I'm getting so triggered right now, right? But I'm getting upset at a fucking idiot who's making bigoted comments against a piece of fucking art that he clearly did not pay attention to. And I'm only getting mad because he's triggered by gay people on his television screen in the first place.
It's irrelevant. Beyond it being irrelevant, it has no stakes. So, you want to have like an interesting conversation about love during the apocalypse? The big issue of love during the apocalypse is, what if you have a baby?
My God. My fucking God. Then write your own zombie apocalypse show, Ben. That's the thing, though. He's tried writing, and he fucking sucks at it. Here's the thing. That's not the story of this apocalypse. That's not the point of this apocalypse. Nobody's trying to fucking have kids. It would probably make shit way harder. They're trying to survive and get by and create. So that's the difference. You think growing the population is the only thing that's important, as where other people, like to live their life and find purpose and joy and meaning, give their life purpose with enjoyment. Some, even adults, Ben, like to play video games, for example.
I don't play video games because I'm not a child. I wouldn't let my kids play these games because I think they're immoral, frankly.
That'd be like me playing a video game. He's like, why are you playing that video game? Why aren't you just fucking and having kids? We need to procreate here, you guys. Procreation is the only answer. Can't we just procreate? What about the children? We just want more children. Just procreate, you guys. Just procreate. Dude, what the fuck? It's weird. All he can think about is gay people and fucking. And he's like, wouldn't it be great if we could, if I could fuck a guy and procreate children? If a girl, I meant a girl, you guys. I'm totally not closeted, I'm totally not, no.
What happens if you have a baby? Or should having babies be the purpose here? So let's take another example of a show that did this correctly. So Battlestar Galactica had an episode early on.
I've never seen Battlestar Galactica. Go ahead and watch Battlestar Galactica, Ben. You don't have to watch this. It's fine. Nobody fucking cares.
I think it was season 2, in which one of the questions was underpopulation, right? The fleet is depopulating.
Oh my God, he won't stop with the fucking population shit. Oh my God, Ben. Ben.
Stop it. Get some help.
And so the question becomes, what do you do about abortion? So President Roslyn, who is a lefty, she decides that she's going to outlaw abortion because if you want humanity to survive, then it turns out that individual autonomy over your body is significantly less important than actually repopulating humanity. So here's Roslyn announcing that she's outlawing abortion, right? Because again, the stakes are whether humanity survives. It is not whether two...
Oh my God. In this case, in the apocalypse, humanity has seen the best way to survive by keeping the population low, you stupid, dumb fucking moron.
Individuals fall in love in the middle of a farm, not threatened by anyone, which is the story of this particular episode.
Since assuming the presidency, I've made it my mission to maintain the right...
See, when I do the editing, I'm going to put in clips like he's doing to prove his point, but I feel like I'm going to have to put the same clip in like 5,000 goddamn times. Like the same population, like, why'd they kill them? They don't look sick. Oh, they killed them because, the dead can't get infected and fucking bite people. Like, in this fucking episode, Ben!
These people weren't sick.
No, probably not.
I kill them. Why not just leave them be?
Dead people can't be infected.
Jesus Christ! How does he have any kind of following?
And freedoms we so enjoyed prior to the attack.
If I do decide to put that fucking clip in, where the conversation between Ellie and Joel is like, yeah, they wanted to keep the population low. And, like, the people trying to survive aren't like, we should have kids. Our thing should be just fucking and having kids all the time. Like, that's, who would even, in the apocalypse, who is fucking having a baby? Where, like, if you're not in, like, QZ, where QZ clearly wants to keep the population low, so they're not, probably have some kind of child, like, China policy shit, where they're, making sure that only a certain amount of fucking kids are even born, and if You know, they probably are forcing people to get abortions, or they're killing kids, or whatever the fuck it is, right? That are born that they don't approve of. Like, it's too many. The numbers are too high. So in the QZ, you might not be able to have too many kids. So that's not an issue there because the QZ wants a low population. And outside the QZ, why the fuck would you have a kid? Oh my God, yeah. I would love to just have a fucking constant 24-hour alarm that is crying my position off to fucking zombies all of the time, always. That's what I want. Yeah, Ben would be the first person to fucking die in a zombie apocalypse with dumb fucking ideas like this.
One of these rights has now come into direct conflict with the survival.
Hold on, I'm not watching this clip. Never seen Battlestar Galactica. I don't care. The argument he's using makes no sense in the context of this show or this situation, so I'm just going to fast forward to a point where I hopefully don't get like copyright claimed.
Shall be subject to criminal penalty.
Okay, so, you know, this is like an actual issue.
Oh my God, this show is different from that show! Why don't they do this?
Falling in love and then dying of old age.
It's not even another zombie show. Battlestar Galactica, isn't that a sci-fi show? Like, is that a zombie? Is that zombies in space? I've never seen it. But does it even, like, is it even a good parallel or a good comparison for The Last of Us? Maybe The Walking Dead would be a better comparison. In The Walking Dead, one of the characters literally has a baby. You could literally make a one-for-one comparison to that. I mean, I still think you would be wrong because what does that show? Having a baby is not good in a zombie apocalypse. It is not helpful. And maybe one baby is, but you're not like having so many babies that you're going to grow the population to fight back again. What are you fucking talking about, Ben? What's the end goal with having children? Why are you just constantly thinking about reproduction with every fucking argument you always make? God damn it, so fucking weird.
Is not relevant to that particular conversation. I can say, well, that's not what they wanted to cover on the show. That's not what they were interested in covering on the show. The truth is, it's a much more compelling storyline. I mean, that's the entire plot line of A Quiet Place, right? You have an alien invasion. What do you do when you have a baby?
Oh, thank God. Finally, some other fucking comparison to something that's kind of-ish similar.
Continue to have babies in view of the fact that there's a threat to the children, in view of the fact they're going to have to live difficult and rough lives and all the rest of it, right? But you can say, I see the argument. Okay, well, that's not what they wanted to take on in episode 3. So I have a question. What were they seeking to take on in episode 3? What was the major topic that they were seeking to take on?
World building and character development. The world building was the topic. You know, where did the virus come from? How did things play out with Fedra, the government at the time, and how did this go, and how did that go, and what happened to this world, and what's this world like? It's world building and it's character development. You yourself, I think you just pointed out, like, having a baby in this fucking world makes living in this world a trillion times harder, and there's no smart reason for it. It's good if you have a baby and you want to try living in that fucking world with a baby. Good for you. Go right the fuck ahead. Not gonna hang around you. I'm not. I'm gonna get my backpack and go along my way and do my own shit. 'Cause I ain't hanging around you with the baby during the zombie apocalypse. I don't even like fucking escort missions in fucking in video games where you have somebody who can walk around for themselves doing shit or whatever. I'm not fucking looking after a baby in the zombie apocalypse.
Falling in love during the apocalypse? What are the stakes? We don't know any of these characters, nor are we going to care about them beyond this.
We don't know any of these characters! Oh, Tess died? She was only in the first 2 episodes? Oh, she's in a flashback episode for like a second in this one? She's only in 3 episodes, and she won't be in season 2? Why even have her? Why even have her? She's not going to be in any of the future. She's dead. Why even have her? She's just dead. She's just dead. Why even have her? Why even have why have Bill and Frank? Why build characters at all? Why not just have a show that looks at the fucking wilderness? Why even do character? Why even have characters? Why even have characters? Why? Just get rid of Joel, get rid of Ellie, get rid of Bill, get rid of Frank, get rid of Tess, get rid of, get rid of all the characters that are to come. We don't need any of that. We don't need any of that. Hell, they were characters. We don't need Tommy. We don't need anyone from Firefly, from the Fireflies. We don't need any of them. Just get a camera, go out to the woods, turn on the camera, and just walk away and come back like 2 hours later and just put that on HBO Max. No need to fear, everyone, because with the release of episode 6, there's finally an element to the show that Ben Shapiro can masturbate to.
I'm gonna be a father.
Although I imagine Ben Shapiro is going to have trouble staying hard when he realizes there's less zombies in this episode than there was in episode 3. In addition to that, they're self-described communists.
No one person's in charge. I'm on the council, democratically elected, serving 300 people, including children. Everyone pitches in. We rotate patrols, food prep, repairs, hunting, harvesting.
Everything you see in our town, greenhouses, livestock, all shared. Collective ownership.
So, communism.
Nah, it ain't like that.
It is that, literally. This is a commune. We're communists.